Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I am Aaron Loomis, and with me, as always, is June Liu. How you doing, June?
Doing good.
So today we are talking about the Smoking Jacket Henkie. It is a Toro cigar, 6 by 51 ring gauge. Comes out of the Kellner Boutique factory in the Dominican Republic. The wrapper is from the Dominican Republic in Cotuí. The binder is Dominican Republic from Monte Plata. And the filler is a mix of Dominican Kellner Family Reserve Habano, HVA, and San Vicente, and also a little bit of Nicaraguan Condega Lajero. It is blended by Hendrik Kellner Jr. The price point is $9, and the cigar was released in July of 2017. So with that out of the way, June, what was your smoking experience like?
Smoking experience was incredibly flavorful. Upon lighting this cigar, it reminds me of that hanky touch, right? So, what I really mean by that is, like, when I smoke most Davidoffs that's blended by hanky, like, initially you get this, like, hay grass kind of a note to it. And then, within the next, like, that's like within a handful of draws, right? And then it just, like, opens up to, like, a plethora of other flavors. So, this is kind of, this is very similar in that sense. So, right when you light this guy up, get a good toast in, get a few draws in, hay grassiness, and then it didn't take long for the flavors to broaden, as that hay note was soon accompanied by really nice sweet and creamy bread. There's like this candy-like sweetness that at times hits it like a cotton candy kind of a sweetness to it. So very sweet, right? So what I mean by that is, like, I'm not just pulling flavors out of my ass, but it's like it's a really nice sweetness, right? Like that really pops. White pepper, cedar, retro is it's a combo of it was sweet and spicy for me. So again, that cotton candy like sweetness and that white pepper, it mixed really well, and it's rarely something that I taste so like distinctively. Finish on the softer side, giving me like a lingering cedar, strength and body medium. So other than that, the only thing that's kind of important to note is kind of as the cigar progressed on, it started mixing some minerals to it as well. And I even wrote in my written review that within the last third, a light bulb kind of went off my head, and I was like, oh wait, like I'm starting to taste minerals. This is what was that extra thing that was needed to kind of bump that, complexity nuance up that much more. So overall, it was really flavorful, and I really enjoyed it. And then on the construction part, I mean, I typically forget about, and that's a good thing I forget about it because it performed. So, burned very good. Draw was perfect. So the only thing that was a notch below perfect on the burn was that I felt like the burn line was a bit uneven at times. But really, with that said, there's no issues with the construction.
Yeah, for me, the cigar kind of hit off with like a mellow mixture of light wood and toasted bread, and then as the cigar went along, those flavors kind of built up in fullness. There was a little bit of sweetness that was present, and then a little bit of slight creaminess that kind of came in as the third was wrapping up. And the second third, it was really a kind of a continuation of that. Wood gained a little bit of char, so it lessened that kind of toasted bread dynamic. Retrohale was kind of carrying that charred wood and cream notes to it. And that's kind of how that second third was. And then final third, charred wood continued on, some of that cream, a little bit of mild black pepper kind of popped in there. And then kind of the creaminess really started increasing in that final third as well. Chard dropped out a little bit, and black pepper had left. Strength-wise, it started out kind of mild medium, and by the end, it had just really increased to just be right at medium. So it's really not a very strong cigar. In regards to the burn, it was pretty good through the first two thirds. There was one instance where the burn got off, and actually it kind of burned around the issue area, and then that piece of wrapper that was unburned kind of fell off on that first ash drop. And then there was a kind of a quarter-inch section in the final third where it just felt like it wanted to kind of go out, and I just kind of had to do a touch up there to get things back on track. In regards to the draw, it was perfect, just around the right amount of resistance I prefer. And I'm not sure if you noticed this, but when I cut the cap, I cut it really shallow, and it was more like a pinching. It didn't really cut, and underneath that cap, it was just already cut underneath. So it wasn't like I actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
Huh.
I didn't
Okay.
actually cut any of the filler. It was just like I just popped. It kind of just popped the cap off, and it was pre-cut underneath. So it was a nice one there. So overall, what were your thoughts on this cigar?
It was really pleasurable experience. Flavors are so full, like it was so full in sweetness, earthiness, just around a spice coming through. Um, my recommendation is don't sleep on this one. I mean, if you like most Davidoffs out there and you don't want to pay up the ass for one, uh, this is definitely something to try, and I think you'll really enjoy for the folks that like nuance, that like refinement, that like a lot of flavor without and smoothness without overbearing strength. And it's for $9. I mean, it's an incredible bargain, all things considered. So yeah, this was a pleasurable cigar to smoke, and I'd love to smoke more and more of.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the flavors were really good in this cigar. Strength levels pretty low. I mean, anybody could smoke the cigar. Experienced smoker, a new smoker. Um, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to a new smoker just because I don't think they would kind of get the nuances of the cigar. Not to say they can't enjoy it. I mean, they can still enjoy it, and it's not like it's an expensive cigar, so they would stay away from it. But like you were saying, this is very Davidoff like profile. I mean, it's there, but the thing is that the price point is so different, so much lower. I mean, it's the value on this cigar is amazing, with the flavors that it provides. So I mean, if you come across these, I think you have to buy some. Like you just don't unless you just don't like that unless you don't like that profile. If it's not your profile, I don't want to twist your arm to buy any. But if you enjoy that, you have to buy these. Like there's no reason not to buy these. So those are my thoughts. In regards to the score, I gave it a 7.32. You gave it an 8.13. How do you think that matches up?
Matched really well. I mean, I'm pretty sure this one's hitting my top 5 of the year so far. So matches up very well. It was a great construction, fantastic flavors. Definitely stands a notch above the other releases that came out this year for me. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I mean, I would kind of mimic everything that you said there. I mean, it's definitely gonna be my top five. Flavors are really good. Price doesn't factor into our score, but that's just an additional thing on top of it. But construction was pretty good. I mean, I just had a little bit of a issue with the burn, but it sounded like your burn was good. I mean, if my burn was better, the score would have just been even better on mine. So it was fantastic. Any other final thoughts from you?
You bring up a good point when you a little bit ago when you said you should try this unless if this is not the kind of flavor profile that I enjoy. I used to be in that part of that camp of kind of saying, or that population of folks that say, I don't like Davidoff-esque cigars, right? Like, I used to not like cigars with hay notes. I thought a hay note was really unpleasurable and not a good tasting note. But I think as my kind of cigar journey and smoking experience has, gone through and I've developed my palate more, uh, I've become to really appreciate it. Especially the way Henke does it is like, he does it so like he like builds upon flavors on flavors on a lot of his like really good cigars and most of his cigars, right? Some cigars more than not, there's a bigger array of flavors than others, but like he's so good at doing that and having that initial hay grassiness to kind of jump kick your palate. I have come to really appreciate it. So.
Yep, exactly. Well, if you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us. Also, check out the full written review on the website, developingpalates.com. Be sure to follow us on all the social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Google+. And you can catch all of our reviews on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.